Melbourne Wilson's testimony only continued for a short time during the afternoon session, as senior counsel to the Commission Alex Milne sought to find out the full details surrounding Urban Development Limited and Blue Resorts development deal involving belongers Honorable Jeffrey Hall, Samuel Bean, Olson Robinson, Quinton Hall, and developer David Wex. Milne wanted to find out how much money Wilson got for his work as a representing attorney in the deal. He said he could not give an accurate figure, however, that it was less than $800,000. Melbourne's testimony ended with cross-examination from his lawyer Ariel Mizik, who also represents his former client, the Honorable Jeffrey Hall. After Wilson left, the Stein Director of Planning Clyde Robinson was called before the Commission. Robinson's testimony recapped his version of the decision surrounding a recommended approval of the Salkey Dock project. Robinson testified that he had made a recommendation to the Planning Board criticizing an environmental impact assessment that was done as part of the consideration process. Milne noted that in the letter he criticized the EIA as failing to address a number of important issues surrounding the proposed development. That report, he says, was to be presented to the Physical Planning Board for their consideration in their recommendation to the Ministry of Natural Resources about the project. Further, that report, Robinson testified later, would put him at odds with the Minister of Natural Resources, the Honorable McAllister Henschel, and the Premier, the Honorable Michael Mizik. Robinson said that he received a text message from Honorable Henschel on January 8, 2009, notifying him of a meeting the next day at the Premier's office to discuss planning matters. His testimony lined up with testimony from other witnesses on the matter, placing 3 members of the Planning Board, Garnet Jolly, Otis Morris, and Colin Williams, along with Honorable Henschel, the Premier, Director of the Department of Environmental Coastal Resources, Wesley Clairvaux, and a Salkey DevCo rep, Stephen Kroll, and a colleague present at the meeting. Robinson said that he engaged in a heated exchange with the Premier and Honorable Henschel at that meeting over his report to the Planning Board. He said Honorable Henschel and the Premier stressed that the project was a government one and that Salkey needed a dock. Robinson said he felt the exchange was a critique of him. He said there were discussions of holding a Planning Board meeting that same day, but he left the meeting unhappy and of the mind that he would not attend. Robinson said that the disagreement also centered around the location of the dock. He said that he was opposed to the dock being placed on the north side because it had the potential to damage cultural aspects of the island. During later cross-examination by the Premier's lawyer Edward Fitzgerald about Robinson's preferred location on the south side, Fitzgerald noted the environmental impact that putting the dock on the south side would have on the island. Robinson noted that the environmental impact assessment had made recommendations of provisions on the south side location to produce minimal risk to the marine life in that area. The day's proceeding ended with partial cross-examination by Fitzgerald as the Commission made a decision not to sit longer, as it has done in the past few days because of a strenuous day of testimony. Commissioner of the Inquiry Sir Robin Wall noted that the court reporters had a difficult time in understanding the previous witness, Melbourne Wilson, for recording purposes. Hearings will continue tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. with Clyde Robinson, Greg Lightburn, and the Honorable McAllister Henschel are also scheduled to appear. For WIV4 News, I'm Joy Del Trail.